Hi, my name is Tony Willis. I'm the lead pastor of Eufaula First Assembly of God in Eufaula, Alabama. I want to thank you for stopping in and being a part of this session. Thank you for choosing to be interested in our senior adult ministries. I've had the pleasure in the years past to serve our district as the senior adult ministries coordinator. And in that period of time, and even since then, I have grown to love the senior adult, not just the ministry, but the senior adults that live and are part of our churches here in Alabama. We are blessed with a wonderful group of senior adults, and I thank them for allowing me to share times with them, enjoy moments with them. They're a wonderful group of people, and we'll talk more about them in just a little bit here, but I wanted to get into our session tonight. When we talk about senior adult ministries, I know senior adults sort of gives you a mindset and an image there. Most often I refer to them as seasoned adults. And I do that for this reason. Because of their life experiences, because of the circumstances and things that they have walked through, they have earned a credibility that can be earned or learned no other way. And they deserve our respect, they deserve our honor, and they are jam-packed full of wisdom and things that they want to share with us, share with the younger generation that is coming along, to be able to help them maybe navigate things a little better than they did, or at least to know what was coming. So for that reason, I love to spend time with them. I love to glean from their wisdom as much as I possibly can. Now, if you're watching this, I have to believe that you're interested in senior adult ministries. You're either considering joining one. You might even be considering taking a part in the leadership of one. Whatever the case may be, my hat's off to you. Thank you. We need you involved in our senior adult ministries in our churches across our state. I can tell you this with assurance. You'll never regret making yourself a part of them. You just won't. I'm telling you, they're a lot of fun. Now, let me say this before I get into it. As I look at the title of this session, Still in the Game, Brother Vint and I came up with that title, and you'll see why pretty quick that we went in that direction. But when I mention Brother Vint, I want to say thank you to him for all the effort that he has put forth to make this ACMS happen. It wasn't easy. A lot of work went into it, and I thank him for his efforts, and I thank him for allowing me this opportunity to share. So as we get into it, real quick, first thing that I want you to understand about senior adults, and it's this: they are workers. Listen, they will serve, they will work, they are there for you. It's their nature. It's the nature of their generation. It's part of their DNA to serve and to work. Now, I understand. I've heard it. If you've been in leadership at all, you've heard it. Listen, you go to a senior adult and you say, listen, I'd like for you to help me do so-and-so around the church, or take a class, or do this. And what do they say? Oh, no, Pastor, listen, I've had my turn. Let the young folks do it. I've had my time. Can I just go ahead and declare right now at the very beginning, do not accept that, because their heart really is saying, I can do it, and I will do it. But if you want to give them another chance, someone else a chance to do it, I'll understand. Listen, their desire is to serve, okay? So don't let them talk you out of putting them to work, because they've got time, they've got energy, and they have a heartfelt desire to work. They do. That's just who they are. Now, I will say this. Over the past few years, I have noticed that, let's say it this way, there's a new breed of senior adult out there, okay? They're a little bit different than they were 10 years ago. Something has changed. A lot of it has to do with the climates that we live in and the things that we're walking through and that kind of stuff. But they're a little bit different. And so if you're considering being a part of a senior adults ministry, I want you to understand just who it is that you're going to be working with, okay? So I'm going to introduce you to what I think is the new senior adult. And that's what we want to talk about. Who is this new senior adult? Now, I'm not going to try and bore you with a lot of statistics or anything like that, but if you've downloaded the notes that came with this session, there's some fill-in-the-blank kind of things that I want us to walk through, okay? And I'll just do it this way. Let's look at the first one. This new group of seniors, they have goals that they want to accomplish. They've made plans. They set out on a journey, they made a goal for themselves, and they intend to accomplish it. Still in the game. They want to be in the game till it's over, okay? They have goals and they're going to reach for them, okay? New seniors, now don't laugh at this, new seniors feel 10 to 20 years younger than their chronological age. Now let me just go ahead and clear the air right now. I am 65. I am a card-toting member of the senior adults, okay? I have aches and pains just like everybody else does from time to time. But I'm just telling you, there's a new group of seniors out there that will push past the aches and the pains. They just want to do something, and they feel in their heart and in their mind, they feel younger than their chronological age of their body. And they're ready to do something. They're ready to serve, so just sort of keep that in mind. Look at it this way. New seniors look forward to the future. They're not planning on stopping. They're planning on doing whatever they can until their time on this earth is finished. They are looking to the future. They've got those goals we were talking about. They're still working their way towards them. They're excited about what the future holds, and they want to get there. This is true of most every senior that I know, senior adult. This new senior, though, would rather serve others than to be served. This new group of seniors is independent. They are independent. They want to do it themselves, okay? They had rather spend their energy serving you than to sit down and have you serve them. It's just not in their makeup to sit down and be waited on. They want to serve others more so than they want to be served. Look at this. New seniors love to spend their time with others who share their interest and their concerns. Listen, they'll get together. Somebody that has the same interest, it may be a quilting thing, it may be a fishing club, whatever it may be. They will find people of the same interest and they will get together. They have the energy to do it and the time to do it, and they love to spend time with one another, especially if they have a common interest. But then there's the flip side of that, also the concerns. You see, they deal with issues because of their age and because of the culture that we live in today. They deal with issues that the younger generation doesn't encounter, that they don't face. So they have concerns, and they love to spend time with people that are dealing with the same concerns. That's just wisdom. That's just the right way to do it. You learn from one another. I tell our people all the time, we're in this thing together. And I know that's everywhere on the news now. I'll just tell you this. I've been saying it for the last 5 years, so if somebody else come along with it, they can use it. But we are in this thing together, especially with groups of people that have the same interest and concerns. I got to move on. This new senior eats nutritionally and they exercise regularly. What I mean by that, they've come far enough down the road, they realize some of that stuff they've been eating in the past, they might need to stop eating, okay? It might not have been as healthy for them as they thought it was. So they eat better. They take better care of their bodies. They take better care of themselves. And it says they exercise regularly. I've already told you I was one of them. I'm 65, and I'll have to admit, with my hand raised, as Wendy Bagwell used to say, I do not exercise regularly. Shame on me. But this new group of seniors that's out there coming along that you're going to have sitting on the pews of your church, they exercise. If you don't think so, go down to the local community center. Somewhere in that building, you're going to find a group of silver sneakers that is exercising. If it's not silver sneakers, it'll be some other group. But they're going to exercise. They're taking better care of themselves than some did in the past. Okay? That's just the way they are. I mentioned some of this just a little bit earlier, but they enjoy going out. New seniors like to be out with the people of like interest. They like to go out and eat. They like to get out and ride. They like to get out and go places. They're active. They're on the go. They're on the move. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that their health is such that they can. They'll just use that same kind of energy around your church too if you'll give them the opportunity. I'm just saying. Let's look at this one. Your new seniors have supportive friendships and relationships. And what I mean by supportive friendship, they have friends that will actually pick up the phone, call them, and just chat with them. Just check on them. Just see how things are going. Make sure the grandkids are okay. And make sure the youngins have been calling them like they're supposed to. They're supporting one another. They lift one another up. They care about one another. That's powerful to know that you've got a friend that actually cares about you enough to take the time to call and check on you. That's a supportive friend. And this group of new seniors, that's what they do for one another. They're united. They look out for one another. Look at this next one. And this is so true. New seniors have a sense of humor. They love to laugh. They love to prank one another. They love to play jokes on one another. You got to be careful around them. They'll get you. Judy and I, my wife Judy, I mentioned that we've been involved in the senior adult ministry. We, for the last few years, have led music for the senior adults retreat up at the campground. They're a hoot. I'm going to tell you. There's times when we have to go over to the cafeteria and actually turn the lights out to get them to go to bed because they're in there laughing, having fun, telling jokes, and just enjoying life. They have a sense of humor. And I'll just be honest with you. That's healthy. That is healthy to be able to laugh. They'll laugh at themselves, and that's sure enough healthy to be able to laugh at yourself. They have a sense of humor. And I'll end it with this one. New seniors today view retirement as a time of work, a time of study, a time of service, and then there's that last one, and play. Okay? Did you notice that nowhere in that listing did it say anything about they view retirement as a time to sit down and just say, well, I've done all I can, I've done my part, I'm just going to ride out my time? No, not this group of seniors. Absolutely not. They want to be working. They want to be serving. I like the part that's talked about study. They're trying to find out things. They're trying to learn this new technology. Listen, they have taken over Facebook. The young folks have tried to take on to TikTok or something like that, Instagram or something, just because all of us senior adults, we've taken over Facebook. That's because these folks are not going to just sit there and twiddle their thumbs time away. No, they want to be involved. And that last part says, and play. Listen, if you don't think they'll play, put a load of them in a van and go on an adventure. I don't care where you're going, just go on a trip somewhere. They will prank one another, play jokes. They're as mischievous as any group of young people that you will ever take off on a trip. Now, I know Brother Steve Mason and all the youth pastors, they like to think that, they just don't know. Going off with these young folks is something else, man. I'm going to tell you, senior adults know how to have fun, and they enjoy having fun with one another. If you don't believe it, try it sometime. I'll assure you, they love that part about playing, and that's just life. That's living, and that's what I like about this new group of senior adults that is coming through. Now listen, I know I just mentioned Brother Steve Mason, I mentioned the youth pastors and the youth of the church. I know that we've all heard it. I've been guilty of saying it myself. Not that there's anything wrong about it, but I've made the same statement. The youth are the church of tomorrow. And there is indeed some truth to that. We are depending on them to be there to help us with the church of tomorrow. We need them, okay? We're depending on them. They are part of the church now. But there's going to come a day when we hand it off to them. The leadership roles will be handed to them because they've grown and they've matured, and now it's their turn to take the leadership roles. I want you to think about something. Where are they going to learn how to do that? Where are they going to learn how to be leaders? Where are they going to learn how to run a department in the church? Guess what? It's from those senior adults that are sitting around in your congregation. They're sitting on your pews. They're trained. They're equipped. They're wise. They're intelligent. And they are desiring to serve in some form or fashion. Don't you kid yourself. Don't you check them out or count them out. They're going to be the ones that's going to show the younger generation the ropes. They're going to be the one to show them how to support a church with their attendance, how to support a church with its finances. Listen, we might as well be honest about it. If we'll be completely honest, as we sit in our churches on Sunday, if we'll look around, we have what we have largely because of the senior adults that are sitting in that congregation. We have the facilities that we have because of those senior adults sitting in the congregation and the support that they've given the church in the years past, for the labor that they put in to building facilities, to equipping facilities. They're going to be the ones that shows the next generation how it's done. Don't you lose that element from your church. Senior adult ministry, listen, they're still in the game. They still want to be a part of what's going on. Senior adults, hands down, is one of the greatest assets that you have sitting in your church. Do not miss the opportunity to take the experience and the wisdom that they have and use it to impact the kingdom. It's still there. They're still in the game. Now, I told you I wasn't going to bore you with a lot of statistics, and I'm trying my best not to, but I wanted to move into another area right here just for a moment. Part of the process that we talk about when we talk about senior adult ministries is the aging process. That's how we got there, okay? That's how we get to be senior adults. We age. And then we continue to age. And if you're talking about or sitting and watching this because you're interested in being a part of or maybe being a leader in one of the senior adult ministries in your church, it's very important that you understand some of the things that they are dealing with because of the aging process. And so I'm going to share a few more statistics here. And I hope again that you downloaded the notes that goes along with this session, because there's some, it's not necessarily, well, it's just like, you're going to have some options. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to give you some options for the answers. They'll be printed out there before you. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to ask the question, and when I do, I want you to circle the answer that you think is correct. Then I'll give you the answer that is correct, and you can check it so that you can go back and sort of compare of where you were really at in the heartbeat of the senior adults ministry. Now, just so you know, I'll be transparent with you. I'm not all that in a bag of chips. I didn't know all the answers either. I got some of them wrong. But I got the right answers here, and I've got them marked, so we'll walk through this together. When we talk about what do you know about aging, look at this question. What is the life expectancy of the average American citizen? Real quick, what do you think? Circle your answer. 82, 67, 77, 72, what do you think? The average life expectancy of the American citizen is 77 years of age. I'll take that. That's 12 more years for sure. I'll take that and some more if they got it, okay? But 77 is the average age or life expectancy of the American citizen. Let's look at number 2. What percent of the American population is 65 years or older? What percent of the American population is 65 years or older? I've given you a second here. Check your answer right quick. or circle your answer, because the correct answer, and I missed this one, is 13%. 13% of the American population is 65 years of age or older. Pretty good slice of the pie there when you think about what the population of the United States is. Let's look at the next one. What percent of the Americans that are 65 years or older, what percentage of them are married? And you got two divisions there. You got the women's division and the men's division. You got plenty of options there. What do you think on the women? What percentage of women 65 years of age or older are married? Okay? The correct answer, 43%. 43% of women 65 years of age or older are married. Now, what about the men? I'm going to give you the answer and then I'm just going to be quiet, okay? Because I know there's some remarks that could be made and we'll just leave that alone. Men, what do you think? 77% of men 65 years of age or older are married. And I'll just leave all the comments right there. I'll just let that go. Next question. What do you know about aging? Well, answer this one. Approximately what percent of people 65 years of age or older live in a convalescent hospital or in a nursing home? Now, I missed this one big time. I got this one wrong all the way around. What do you think? 65 years of age living in a convalescent hospital or a nursing home? The percentage is, the correct percentage, 5%. For some reason or another, in my mind, I thought it would have been higher. But I'm thankful that it's not. I'm thankful that we have a large percentage of our senior adults that are still able to live at home on their own and take care of themselves and that kind of thing, or have family that can take care of them. That's wonderful. I'm glad the number was 5%. Next question. What percent of senior adults in the United States live alone? Now this one disturbs me because I'm not good at being by myself. If you see me, you're usually going to see my wife. We do things together. I don't like doing things alone. I like people involved. I like to go off with a group of people. I just don't like being alone. I don't know if that's an insecurity or anything, but I just prefer being around people. But what percentage of senior adults in the United States live alone? You've had time to think about it. You've circled your answer. The correct answer is C. 38% of our senior adults here in the United States live alone. That bothers me to think that they get up in the mornings and there's no one in the house but them. They go through the day and hopefully one of their kids will call or a good friend will call or something to keep them from feeling the loneliness. And then when the day is spent, they go to bed alone. I just don't like that. I wish it didn't have to be that way. But let's look at this one. Number 6. What percent of women over 65 years of age are widows? Well, what do you think? We'll go with it again. C, 45% of women over 65 are widows. And just throw a little plug in here. We have a real good ministry for that here in our state called Widows Link. Be sure and avail yourself of the teachings that she's doing. Sister Marla's doing a good job of that, and you want to take advantage of it. But let's look at the next question. What percent of the United States population attends weekly religious services? Think about that. Now you got two categories here. You got the general population at large, and then you're going to break it down into the senior adults. But what percent of the United States population attend weekly religious services? When you look at the population at large, what do you think? Got it? The answer is 28%. Just over a fourth of the population in the United States get up and goes to a religious service on a weekly basis. No wonder our country's in a mess. Just saying. What about your senior adults? Got your answer all circled there? Well, if you checked or circled 42%, you are correct. 42%, just less than half of the senior adults get up and go to church or go to some kind of weekly religious service. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. That's part of their DNA, is to be a part of a church and to be faithful to the church. I'm telling you, there's benefits to the senior adult ministry being in your church and being a part of what you're doing to impact the kingdom. Now, I got to wrap this part up. Look at the last one. When you look at your church and you see an increasing number of gray-haired adults, what's your response? What's your thoughts? Look at the first one. Do you look at them and say, uh-oh, we better get some more young families in here because, you know, they're not, these gray-haired adults, they're not going to be with us forever. You know, we better be sure and get some young families in here to keep our church growing. Or when you look at that situation and you see those seasoned adults sitting out there, do you think, uh-oh, this could get serious. They're beginning to outnumber us. There could be a coup. There could be a takeover. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Some folks look at that as a serious problem. And you're ahead of me. I know you're already down there on the next one and you've already figured out that the right and proper response should be and better be. When you see those gray-haired adults sitting out there, your first thought should be, wow, what an opportunity we have to do something for the kingdom. What an opportunity we have to be able to serve our community and to serve one another here in the church when we got all this help right here ready to help us. We got all this wisdom and all this life experience here to help us. That's the way we're supposed to look at it. That's the way you better be looking at it, because they're going to make a difference in your church if you will keep them in the game. Keep them there. Listen, you'll never regret having a senior adult ministry in your church. It will fuel you. It will feed you. It will do things for your church that you cannot even imagine. Listen, they have got so many talents and there's so much to offer to the church if we'll just keep them in the game. And that's sort of what I want to leave you with as I come try and bring this thing down to a close. It is my belief that every church needs to have something going for their senior adults. If you don't have a senior adult ministry yet, begin to work towards having one. Don't let them get left out. Don't leave them just sitting there on the pew, wanting to be involved, looking for ways to be involved, but have not been asked to be involved. I told you that I pastor First Assembly of God in Eufaula, Alabama. Our congregation largely consists of senior adults. And I'm going to tell you, they are a hoot. They are my friends. They are my supporters. They serve any way and every way that they can. They love one another. And I can just tell you, their influence and their love for the church is a powerful force when it comes to getting things done. Their faithfulness and their support for the church is absolutely unwavering. Do not miss the opportunity to put them in the game and to keep them in the game. They will make a difference in your church if you'll let them. Now, I'm going to try and take us to the scriptures for just a moment before I close, because I want to share what I think is my view of a senior adult. This is the way I see them, mostly because of the experience that I've had with them. But another reason is because I want them all to be motivated to feel this same way. You may have your Bibles there close by. If you want to go there, Joshua chapter 14 is where I'm going to be reading from. I'm going to read about a gentleman by the name of Caleb. If you're there in Joshua chapter 14, look down at verse 9, and I'll read from there. So on that day Moses swore to me, the land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance and that of your children forever. Why? Because you have followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. Now then, just as the Lord promised, he has kept me alive. This is Caleb talking. Just as the Lord promised, he has kept me alive for 45 years since the time he said this to Moses. while Israel was out there moving around in the wilderness. So here I am today. I'm 85 years old. Listen to what he says. I am still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. I'm just as vigorous to go out to the battle now as I was then. And here's the clincher. Verse 12. Now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. Praise the Lord. To me, there is a Caleb spirit in the hearts and the minds of senior adults. They're not done. God promised them things. They had plans. They had goals that they had established. And it doesn't matter their age. They can be 85 or 95. They're ready to take it on. Give it to me. I'll go get it. I'll take that hill that was promised to me, is what Caleb is saying. That's the way our senior adults are. Put me in the game. Keep me in the game. I'll come through for you because I'm just as able today as I was the day the Lord made me the promise. That's the way they see themselves. That's the Caleb spirit of a senior adult. Listen, I hope, trust, and pray that you have received something from this that will help you in your seniors ministry. Listen, they are ready to be in the game. Keep them there. Keep them in there. Keep them a part of what you're doing. You will reap the benefits and the rewards, I promise you. Again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. I'm praying in blessings and favor over every senior and every senior ministry that's watching this in your church. And I thank you for joining us tonight. And I pledge God's blessings over each and every one of you. Be blessed.